British Columbia is arguably one of the best destinations in the world for sturgeon fishing. Sturgeons are the largest freshwater fish and offer one of the most exciting catches for sport fishermen. To experience this ultimate fishing adventure, I went to Harrison Bay Guided Services, ideally located next to the world-famous Harrison Hot Springs Resort.
Well, we catch sturgeon 12 months of the year. We're only closed Christmas Day. Other than that, it's a 12-month fishery. It is catch and release in the province of British Columbia. You'll be fishing down the Harrison River and also in the Fraser River. You'll see seals, eagles, and hopefully a few sturgeon. They'll range anywhere from 40 to 400 pounds. You never know what you're going to catch. They're a great sport fish, very resilient, and they'll live to 180 years old, so you'll be fishing for a true dinosaur today.
My fishing adventure began with a 20-minute boat ride departing from Harrison Hot Springs and down the Harrison River and into the mouth of the mighty Fraser River. In the waterways between Hope and the Pacific Ocean, it is estimated that there are over 50,000 sturgeons living in this region. I hope to be able to reel in just one of them today. With a 95% charter success rate and an experienced guide like Eve by my side, I think my chances are going to be quite good. And even if I don't catch anything, the scenic boat ride was worth it already.
I'm basically just looking for the right depth and the right current speed where I think that if there was any bait traveling down the river, it's going to collect into an area where sturgeon might be able to sit and feed comfortably. So that's what we're looking for. Usually anywhere between 8 and 30 feet is where we fish for sturgeon. So we're going to park at about 15 feet right on the current line here, and hopefully there's some sturgeon sitting in there that are hungry. Well, today we're going to be using a combination of baits. We're going to be using some salmon eggs, and these are what the eggs look like here. So beforehand I tied them up in little sacks because there's little minnows down at the bottom. To avoid getting them to eat all the eggs, we tied them up in sacks. I don't know if you know this, but first-time fishermen on the boat, it's customary that they at least try one of the egg sacs before we start to fish. It's a symbol of good luck.
Well, I think the camera guy, it's his first time today, so I think he should try it first. Ooh, look at that, juicy, open up.
Obviously, the reason we put this on is just so it stays on the hook. And then we cast that out to the bottom, and that will sit on the bottom like that. The sturgeon will smell that. It'll come up to it, open its mouth, suck in the bait. Once it takes the bait in its mouth, that strike the rod and hopefully get a good hook set. Have a nice sturgeon on. This lead weight is going to sit on the bottom, and this egg sac will sit on the bottom right behind it. That's what makes the egg sac stay stationary. The other types of baits that we use gills from salmon that we've caught, and we use lamprey eel, which is a eel that's native to the river. So these live in the Fraser River, and sturgeon feed on these as well. So lots of blood, and that's what attracts the sturgeon to the bait, is that blood flowing down the river. You can smell that from a long ways away. For sturgeon fishing, it's a little bit different than what most people grow up thinking. When they actually are fishing, usually you're holding the rod. With sturgeon fishing, you want things stationary, you want your bait still, you want your rod still, for two reasons. One, so you can see the bite better, and two, that bait needs to be as still as possible, so when a sturgeon does come, it's not being moved around. Oftentimes, if you pick up the rod, the sturgeon can feel that, it'll drop the bait. So there goes your chances at hooking the fish.
All right, Eve, we're waiting for the line to move. What happens if I see it move? What do I do?
What you want to do is, the first thing you want to do is wait until I tell you to set the hook. When the rod starts to bend down, I want you to pick this rod up and strike the hook, or the rod, as hard as you can.
What do you mean strike it?
So you're lifting the rod up
Yeah.
and back. You're trying to penetrate the hook into the fish's mouth to get a good hook set. Yeah. So that's the key for this type of fishing, is getting a good, strong hook set. After you hook the fish, you want to keep good, steady pressure on the rod at all times. We're fishing with barbless hooks, so it's easy to lose the fish if there's slack line.
Okay.
So what you want to do is maintain a good bend in the rod.
Okay.
So in order to do that, you want to be leaning back and reeling forward to pick up line. Leaning back, exactly, and reeling forward. Expert here.
We're getting ready to catch a fish, so I'm putting on my fighting belt. It helps me because then I can just put the rod right in, and then I'll just reel it in easier, just with my weight right around my waist.
Shortly after my crash course in sturgeon fishing, we got some movement on our lines.
Here we go. Coming up to the surface. Jump. Try and keep a big bend in the rod.
Big bend in the rod, we caught one.
See if you can go to the back of the boat there, back of the boat. Yep.
Reel it in,
Reel.
push back. Reel it in, push back.
Oh!
Did you see that? Man, oh man! He was huge, no wonder I'm having such a hard time with this little guy.
It's not little.
Oh, I feel like I'm giving birth. Oh no! I need help!
So what you want to do? Yeah, there you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift up on the rod, and then when I go down, you start to reel.
Okay.
Reel now. There you go. See how easy that is?
No, it's easy because you're helping me.
There's the bubbles back there, see, 30 feet. That's a sign that he's getting tired. And so are we.
So are we! So are we! Pull back.
Keep pulling until your rod gets nice and high, and then you can reel in.
First catch of the day. First catch of my life. It's tough, but it's worth it. It took me a good half an hour of fighting with the sturgeon before we were finally able to reel him in. Sturgeons are incredibly resilient creatures. They can live out of the water for many hours. Since the start of a catch and release program in 1999, over 26,000 sturgeons have been tagged in this area with virtually no mortalities.
There's the mouth right there. So there's no teeth in the mouth, as you can see. Barbels here. The barbels, they use those as sensors so they can feel what they're about to eat.
Okay.
And as I was saying, the mouth is very, very strong tissue, so it takes a lot to penetrate that hook through the mouth. So that's why the hook set is very important, to get that hook buried through the skin of the mouth. You want to put your hand in there? No teeth.
Really?
Yeah, try it. No teeth, I promise. Here, try it. You can feel how strong the mouth is here. If you pinch right there, feel how strong that is. Yeah. Wow. Well, what we do when we catch a sturgeon, when we bring it inside the boat, we always scan each fish to see if it has a tag inside it. If it doesn't, we install a tag with a number.
And what's the purpose of that?
The purpose of the whole tagging program is to collect information on the sturgeon. It gives us data that we never had before. We can find out how many are in the river, if we're harming them when we tag them, what rate they grow at, how much they travel. So it gives us a lot of information on a fish that we never really knew a lot about before. We'll run it just to the back just to make sure that there's no tag. So what do you know? A fish that's never been tagged.
No ID found!
So this is the tag here. It's not very big, and that will give us a number, and we're going to record that number onto our tag sheet. We're going to install that to the needle. So basically, right behind the skull on the left side of the fish, check that. Now the tag's in. Let's make sure that the tag is in the fish. Yeah.
There
Right
you go.
10-digit number that we're going to record on our tag sheet. So this fish is 178 centimeters in length. The girth on this fish is 67 centimeters.
After tagging the sturgeon we caught, it was time to release him back to the wild. Though I was sad to see this thrilling experience come to an end, I'll always have this picture to remember my unforgettable sturgeon fishing adventure.
3, 2.
Thanks for the great time, man.
You're very welcome. Oh, you know what we forgot?
What?
You forgot to kiss the fish. It's always lucky to kiss the fish. Actually, you know what we can do?
What?
You can kiss the guy instead. Right here.
Okay.
Oh, this is bad television now. You should have been rolling on the first
I know,
one.
you should have been rolling on the